Alright, first step in painting. We're going to do Toplac Plus in Snow White, I believe it is. I have to put Pre-Kote Plus on before that. And then before that, got to wipe it down with their solvent wash to get rid of any kind of wax or mold release agent that might still be on the boat after all these years. But before I do that, I'm going to pressure wash her. So, here we go. She's pressure washed. I noticed a few things. There's a through hull right up here for the bilge pump. I got to pull that thing off so I can get around it, the paint. Saw a couple gouges. Where did I see that? Yeah, there's a few gouges around that I got to fair a little bit. And then I didn't see this before. I'm going to get up here closer. The cap rail in this area is really beat up. I didn't see it from the top side, and I've had this tarp on it for so long I never looked at it. So let me get a ladder and we'll go take a closer look. Here's a close-up of that cap rail. It looks like there's just a chunk taken out of the top of the piece there. There's a real thick, I don't know if it's bedding compound or just the bottom of this sliding rail. Yeah, it's the part of the rail. So cap rail ends about here. Just a chunk taken out here, so that's not too bad. I do know what I got to do is gouge all of this old caulk out all the way around, and then refinish the cap rail, paint the sides, and then install some really good caulk all the way around. Originally I tried to take this cap rail off when I was up working on the boat. These were in such a difficult area underneath here to get at that I couldn't do it, and I was working on my own. If I had help, maybe I could have pulled it off, but I just at that point I figured, forget it. I'm just going to leave this in place and refinish it in place. I don't recall that the previous owner had any issues with leakage at this joint. This is a liner boat. It's a little different. It does come up here, and then there's an overlap the way the two are connected. So it's not as prone to leakage as some other styles, but it certainly can. If I can get the wood sealed up good all the way down and a good bead of caulk, really good high quality caulk on both sides, and keep that maintained over time, I think I should be good. If all else fails in the future, I can spend some time and pull this off, but I want to get this guy in the water. Yeah, so here we are, starboard side toward the front. This is the one gouge that I was talking about. And then I think I saw, oh yeah, another one right up there at the blue line. And I gotta pull some stickers off. So I think right now what I'm gonna do is just start with the solvent wash and get off all the old wax and everything. Step 2, it's all prep work. Jesus, painting's easy. It's just prep work. Getting ready for the solvent wash to pull off all of the wax and whatever else might be on the hull. I took an old towel we used to use for the dogs and cut it up. Got my mask because that stuff is nasty. So let's go start wiping. The plan is, the instructions are, get one of these saturated, wipe an area really well, and then before it can dry it off with another clean one. That way whatever you picked up that's in the solvent, you're wiping off the boat. Doesn't do much good, just wipe it and then just let it dry, because whatever was there just dries back onto the boat. I mean, you'll get some up on the cloth that was wet, but this way it gets a lot of it. So here we go. That was fun. Got it wiped down with the solvent wash. All the solvent laden rags sitting out in the sun to have everything evaporate before I put them in the garbage. Alright, so I'm almost done with the second side. I got this tool. I've been scraping the caulking out of this gap all the way around the boat. Pretty much start with this scraping tool that I got on just on Amazon. And it starts, get a good chunk of it that way, then move to this guy and just dig out the caulk. sometimes I'm using a little screwdriver to help it out. So that's been the fun. Alright, working on sanding. I've got this part done, going down about halfway, not quite. Maybe you can see a reflection to where the gloss is off. I'm using 80 grit is what that Pre-Kote Plus calls for. So I've got that much done. It's a beautiful night. I'd like to keep going, but between my back and my poor neighbors are trying to sit out by a campfire enjoying the night, I don't want to drown them out, so good excuse to stop for the night. Got a nice Saturday morning, trying to get out here to get some more sanding done. Waiting till 9 a.m. just to be nice to my neighbors. Using an old woodworking trick. Put some light pencil marks where I still need to sand in certain areas. Helps guide where I gotta go. And I also, there's a couple of fairly large gouges this morning that I'm just using Bondo. Worked well inside, and I think the Bondo is a polyester type thing also, so that's what this is about. It's polyester resin, so no harm using that out here, I don't think. They're minor scratches, so I'm not too concerned about. Well, the old name's finally mostly gone. This is quite a trapezius workout, overhead sanding. I started trying to get rid of that blue stripe. A little more difficult than I thought, but cranking away at it. But before I do that, I'm going to go around and fill in all the spots for the Bondo, and then let those cure while I'm working on this blue stripe. Alright, all the touch-up spots, have to sand those when those cure, but I'm going to get going on that blue stripe again. Those evenings after work, there's a blue sky, temperature's nice. You turn around, and all these dark clouds over here, and everything's coming from that direction, so I'm right on the border. There's some blue sky and there's some clouds. Calling for rain in my town, but I'm thinking only the southern half, hopefully. So what I did, I went ahead and I got started on the primer coat. So first coat going on nice. It's gonna have a little bit of an eggshell to it, but that's why I guess they make you sand after you put the 2 coats on, or minimum 2 coats. So we'll see. Well, I finished painting before it started raining. Most of it was long dry, and this is the end of it here. Wind kind of blow this way a little bit, so it's actually staying dry. So first coat of primer on, looks good. I don't think the rain's going to do much. I mean, I already see clear sky from the direction the rain is coming from, so just a brief shower coming straight down. I gotta do 1 or more coats anyway, so we're good. So it's been a couple hours now since I finished painting, and yeah, I was afraid that I had that, I said eggshell, I meant orange peel texture, and it is not. It really flattened out nice all by itself just from rolling. So she's very smooth. So I'll get another coat of primer on, and then it says to sand with 110 grit just to take off whatever, and then we'll be able to paint. So looking good. Alright, getting to be dusk, but it's the next day and I've gotten a second coat of primer on. And she smoothed out real nice. I think that's all I need is these 2 coats. It's got pretty good coverage. I got enough to do more. I think these 2 coats did it. Around the next evening, there's 2 coats of primer on there. Now it's time to sand. I got 400 grit and I used the random orbital, and that was making holes all the way through to the original gel coat. So what I'm doing now, I just got a little sanding block and I got the 400 grit on, and I'm just taking off the, I don't know if you can see it or not, like here's a little piece of fiber from the roller, and this sanding block takes that off really well. Alright, I've moved on to painting the first coat. I sanded everything by hand, 400 grit, and now I already did the far side, and there's the wet line. I just kind of stopped here to give an idea of what it's looking like. We'll see about how the orange peel effect ends up being after 2 or 3 coats. It's really minimal right now, and for the effort it would take to be absolutely perfect, I'm not going to kill myself. But it is very good. I'm very impressed. I'm just rolling it. I have a foam roller. I'm just doing one section at a time, trying to keep the wet line wet, so when I go to do the next section, it blends in. If you let that dry up, then there's going to be a kind of a crease there. So I got to get back to work. But I mean, there's the clouds and the blue sky reflecting. Give you a little idea. See if I can film one set here. Oh shit, not even aiming, sorry. Into the wet line above, tie it into the wet line to the side, and then I just usually just go all the way up, nice and easy. It's already been put on evenly everywhere. Had a chance to briefly settle, and then this just gets everything uniform. And then we move on. Alright, first coat done. Toplac Plus, and just to let you know, it's an Elberg 30. That's how much I used, so probably about a third of it. I should mention, I did raise the water line quite a bit. There was a boot stripe here, and the bottom paint probably came into about here. So there's a good 6-8 inches all the way around the boat that didn't get this topside paint. So. But that's what she looks like. Alright, this is the next day. I painted this yesterday afternoon. It is now about noon the next day. Let's see the sunlight reflecting. It's got a bit of orange peel. I'm not overly thrilled with it, but we'll see how it goes with the next few coats. I mean, it looks good if you're more than 3 feet away from it, which most people will be, so I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Okay, working on the second coat of paint, and keeping the wet line in view is a real chore. So I've been doing a certain area, and then I got to make a little mark below and above to know where to start the next one, because it's so difficult. And of course I waited till noon, and the sun is right above, right in my eyes when I'm looking up. So I'm about to start a third coat, and for reference, I've used about half a gallon of this Toplac Plus on the first 2 coats. So here we go, coat 3. Come on. It's gonna be a funky one, I guess. Gonna give me trouble. This doesn't have to be that great because I got to put another coat of bottom paint on. And so on. Alright, unfortunately we don't have the sun directly on all of it for this final shot of the paint, but this is the difference. I think you can see it's pretty good. You get too close to it, you might get a little bit of a that orange peel effect, but really not bad. I don't know if you can see or not the reflection of the siding and the paint. I think it turned out pretty good. There's the sky reflecting, so not bad. Yeah, so it looks pretty good. Toplac Plus, ease of use, significant ease of use without having to mix it. I had to mix when I put on the barrier coat, and this is much easier. Goes on good. I'd recommend it. Thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, that would help my numbers. Blue circle up top here. Appreciate it. See you next time.